Cal, what did you think about the way John and Eric played down the stretch?
They played well. You know, when a team is trying to hold the ball late in the shot clock and take a shot late, if you can make some shots and put so much pressure on that team, we just have had games where we're missing every open shot. And it was the first half was very similar to that. And then in the second half, we made them. And all of a sudden, you see that gap I'm talking about. And it's not like you got to make them all. You just can't miss them all. You can make 34%, 33%, and you're fine. You can't shoot 8%, which we do at times. And they're normally, they're not playing us. They're wide open. We just don't make them. Today, Eric just showed so much courage in what he did and how he played. And, you know, it was a great game. I liked what I saw. We did a lot of good stuff.
John, you were up 52-50 with about 10 minutes left, and you got about 3 minutes worth of stops there and kind of put the game some distance. What were you doing better in that stretch, maybe defensively and for the rest of the game?
I think there was a real passion that we played with right then, and guys dug in. We were taking charges. We were coming up with balls. There were a lot of plays that we made. And let's give Tennessee credit here. I mean, Bruce came in, and what they did is they went to a 3-2 zone. And I'm going to be honest with you, we didn't work on it. I knew they'd run it, or I knew they had it in their arsenal, but I didn't know they'd run it because I hadn't seen them run it on any of the tapes I watched. So what happens in the first half, we come out, and to be honest with you, we don't look like we know what the heck we're doing, and I'll be honest, we didn't. In the second half, when we had the halftime, and I told them, guys, they're playing a 3-2 zone, not your fault, that's my fault, I'm not blaming you, but here's what we're going to do in the second half and how we're going to attack it. And then we were better in the second half. They listened. It's not their fault that we didn't prepare for 3 days. Their coach didn't understand, but and then you got to give them credit for how hard they played in this environment. This is a hard environment now. It's a hard environment. And they came in here and played us as well as anybody. We made a couple shots that created a gap, but hats off to them. I think Bruce did a great job of keeping his team in the game. If Eric doesn't make those threes and we don't make a couple of those free throws, it's a different ballgame.
John, Bruce said that he didn't see you guys shooting from the dead corner as much as you did tonight, and I'm wondering if that was something for Tennessee, and what got Eric?
No, that's when we talked at halftime. When you're in a 3-2 zone, that's what's open, the corners. Because you got 3 guys above the free throw line. There's only 2 below the free throw line. So we started flashing our center in the middle to make one of those low guys guard him, and then the corners were open. And we just made open shots.
John, when you talked about you saw several things that you liked, can you kind of expound on what those things were?
Well, when DeAndre plays as a finisher and doesn't think of himself as a point guard, when he thinks of himself as a point guard, he tries to make plays and he turns it over. When he's playing just to play basketball and be a finisher, I mean, look at his energy out there. Look at how hard he plays. Look at how he goes after balls. DeMarcus, who didn't play particularly well, and it's not all bad because it's one of those things you say to him, you ready? Deal with it. He's still got 12 rebounds. He's like a beast. He goes after every ball. If he made 5 free throws, he went 1 for 8. If he goes 6 for 8, he gets another double-double. He went 1 for 8. But I thought Daniel Orton went in and did a great job. I thought Perry Stevenson went in and did a great job. I thought Darnell played fine, and I thought Darius played fine. Notice I shortened the rotation a little bit. I want to get those guys more minutes and let those guys try a little bit, and that's what we did.
Cal, can you talk about Liggins a little more? Just
Who?
DeAndre Liggins.
Yeah, he's doing what we need. He's giving us energy. And if he's in the game and we're really guarding the way we are, I leave him in the game. How about he dives for the ball and gets that timeout again? I mean, that was a huge play. You're trying to show the other guys, that's how you finish people off. You don't let them get that ball. You beat them. There's no such thing as a 50-50 ball with DeAndre. He gets them. He goes and gets the balls.
Cal, could you just talk a little bit about, in the second half, you know, DeMarcus was really struggling and you were really coaching him up. Just kind of what was your thinking there as far as with him?
Well, he was playing mad. And there's nothing in this life you can do being mad. You'll never be at your best when you're mad. And then that anger turns to fear, because the physiology is the same. And I just kept telling him, would you smile? You can't, you're too mad. What are you mad about? And I think part of it was how they played. Part of it was he wasn't playing particularly well. Well, deal with it. Let's go. And it's a great lesson for him. And I just kept telling him, you know, I love you. Play. You mad. Why are you mad? You mad at me? Who are you mad at? Not mad. Well, you look mad. And again, you know what, guys? I had to sub another guy, a freshman, in the second half because the guy, you know, we got too many guys that are acting like freshmen because they are, and they're still learning. They're still immature. We still do stuff like, what are you doing? And you know, coaching them where they've never been coached, they've never been told no, they've never been challenged, they've never been aggressively coached because they've been told for the third time not to do the thing they just did. And they've always just done, well, you know, we got to just keep growing up.
John, would you talk about working with DeAndre, because he came last year to sort of build as a point guard and as a real high profile prospect, and you've kind of made him a grinder.
Well, let me say this. He's becoming a real high profile prospect, just so you know that. I mean, everybody that's evaluated my team is all of a sudden, DeAndre is now being talked about. You got people that absolutely love him. So he is. He's playing a style that he can play. Yet he'll revert. You have to understand, how much did he play last year? 4 minutes a game? 5 minutes a game? So he'll revert and go nuts and drive baseline and throw one to the top of the key to the wrong man who breaks away, shoots a layup. He does it occasionally, but when he just is a finisher, shoot balls, take one dribble, two dribbles, and score. If you can't, and you know you don't have anything, pass it to the guard. Let him make the play, you be the finisher. He can play, what his value is, he can guard a 1, he can guard a 2, he can guard a 3-man. That's his value. He also, there's no such thing as a 50-50 ball. He'll rebound, he'll play hard, he'll add energy to the game. I mean, he's as valuable to our team right now as anybody.
Was that, when he got the steal under the basket, called the timeout, was that as excited as you got there?
Yes.
You met him at midcourt, I think.
Yes, and I did that to let the other guys know that means more to me than you making a shot or some fabulous highlight play. That's the play that wins games, that right there. You know, again, there were some charges that we took that were critical again, and we stepped in and took charges.
John, can you talk about the last 7 games of the season that started tonight? Is this the type of intensity you expect? What do you expect to learn?
How about us? We got to go to Mississippi State. Don't know if they've lost at home. We've got to go to Vandy. I know they haven't lost at home, and I think we've had trouble up there in the past few years. I know a couple years ago it was 40.5. Then we have South Carolina, I believe, at home, who beat us. Then I think we got to go an easy game to Georgia. They're beating everybody now by 20, including this team, including the last team that played, and they're beating everybody there. And then we got to go to an easy game up in Knoxville. Then we got Florida at home, who had us beat down in Florida. That's our last 6. 4 on the road, 2 at home. So we've got as tough a schedule as any team in the country. There's no one that's going to, I don't care what league you're in, we got it. And you know what? Good for us. Let's go see where we are. We drop a couple, we drop a couple. We get knocked and let's learn. We learned after South Carolina. It made us a better team. Now let's see how we go on the road and how we focus and concentrate.
Last question.
John, after the last game over here, Eric told us, he said, I've lost confidence in my shot. Did you talk to him about that specifically, just to encourage him? Or
I told him, if you don't shoot it, I'm taking you out. Because he wasn't shooting. Forget about missing. You got to shoot the ball. The second thing I've been talking to him about, he has a 1 dribble pull-up that's as good as anybody in the country. In other words, he's at the 3-point line. They come flying at him. He pushes it away and goes 1 dribble left to right and pulls up. That's his shot. That's the one he makes. And so I'm telling him, you don't have to shoot a 3. but you got to be down prepared to shoot a three.